Previously on the Stanley Parable.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? Please, step in here for a moment.
Daddy's gonna hit me again. What?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Nani?
It's a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What's next? A goat?
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
What? This is beautiful. You add a bloody bucket. And slightly change the layout of the office.
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
What the fuck? Did I just glitch the game? What just happened?
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Wait, if I have a bucket, and there's a bucket...
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So many paintings. It's funny how paintings change the vibe of the hallway.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Damn it!
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, wait, this is bad ending. Nani? What the fuck is wrong with you? Business strategy, my ass! I'ma shove that gun up your ass, you...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
My former dead manager. Or soon to be dead. You think animals' cruelty funny, do ya? You know what I find funny? Human cruelty!
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Thank God I have the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I am going to buy a bucket and put it in the background.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Wait a minute, now that I think about it, wasn't this the game that Kojima said was really good? And there was like a trailer of something of a man beating you to death in your bathroom in the third person? Is that the man that's following us? How do we not take fall damage?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
No, we'll be fine. See? We're fine. We got a bucket.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Seriously, is fall damage not a thing in this game? The Stanley Parable, where's the number 2?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Ah, it's called 12 minutes. Well, wait a minute. Why am I at the Grand Exhibit? Oh God, this is spoiler. Ooh, there's the bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. No, he experienced catatonic shock because he smoked too much DMT. Inferno Bucket. A replica of the Inferno Bucket in which the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Stress, the level of water in the bucket. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy, rest and relaxation. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. Cave drawing. While we know the buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Someone has clearly been doing a lot of drugs at the studio. I too would like to start a game studio so I could tax deduct drugs. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between the bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Nani? Well, this doesn't seem too far out of reach, is it? Nani? Have I doomed us?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Sex?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
What am I even still doing here? Did I get paintings because I got the happiness ending or something?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I mean, I'm guessing that they're adding more and more things into the environment as I'm doing things. I guess.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anlarines. None of us can.
This game is making fun of us. It's raining.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I have felt a roller coaster of different emotions playing this game so far. And I honestly still have no idea what the hell this game is. Seriously. What the hell?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I mean, like, what the hell?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
If despite attendance to Protocol 2A at Protocol 2B, an employee leaves the office during work hours and a system loop has failed, you must terminate. 2D. Please note that the employee 432 is a test case. While the need for Protocol 2A may seem unlikely, Procedure 2A to 2C need not apply. In the event of 432 attempting to leave the office, contact supervisor and then contact 432 prize pool. 3A. If a monitoring screen fails to initiate contact maintenance and temporarily switch control over to desk screen. 4A. In the case of Class 4 event, close system gates and consult with supervisor. 4B. In the case of a Class 3 event, close system gate and consult with supervisor. Prime your consoles for info dump. I'm a test case, eh? Binary code. I don't actually see anyone else here. There's no one else bloody here.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
So Protocol 3 simply states Morty's Mind Blower Protocol. Keck. Keckity keck.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
I am Trash Man. 410 billion birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
So that ending became the
All of
happy
his
ending.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched
How the
bucket
hell did I
tightly to his
trigger that
chest and
thing
entered
when the bucket
into
was
the
already in my hand in the first hallway and I went backwards and fell and died? I need to trigger that again. The last one is somewhere red and blue. Oh, the bucket changes the game. Yeah, definitely. If you're in possession of the
Coming to a
bucket,
staircase,
you get different
Stanley
dialogue.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I haven't done this one in either of them yet.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
See, this makes me wonder how many things this game has. Because the slightest difference can give you a different outcome. Heck, one of the random rooms could be unlocked. There are images of birds on plates, yeah. I'm just like, what the...
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Ooh, it's getting delivered. It'll be here soon.
The monitors jumped to
Oh
life.
fuck, it's right here.
Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
The dialogue does change though. The pizza's almost here, so when it arrives, we're gonna take a quick break.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Not even himself. And yes, I have been fed, and now that I am fed, I am back. With my bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Sorry for
They
the echo.
high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I automatically think of Down with the Sickness. Was the bucket a byproduct of the system, or was I?
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh! I was scared we were going to have a jump scare. What? Are you serious? Wow, that's...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm not allowed because I don't have the bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You panda-killing cunt of a boss. What if I pressed up? Up. Decisions. Walk among the stars. Jupiter and Mars. Is that? It's not Walk Me to the Moon, is it? No, Fly Me to the Moon. Fuck, I haven't seen Evangelion! We gotta do that shit. We waited like 12 years for part 4.0. Come on, guys, we gotta watch it. It has our favorite German girl in it. Okay, seriously, what the fuck is going on? The next movie came out. I even tweeted it. I was like, what the fuck? We waited 12 years and it came out. And it wasn't even like it's coming out next week, it's coming out next month. They were like, out now. And it's like, what the fuck? We waited 12 years. No announcements, no update, no progress, nothing. You just fucking dropped it in the middle of the ocean. Okay, what the fuck is going on? What? What happens if I press down? This is the weirdest shit. Is it gonna play death metal? What? Are the movies worth watching? Did you like Evangelion? If you like the OG Evangelion, Evangelion 1.10 is good because it tells the first third of the story really well. 2.0 was... 3.0, I might have watched, I might not have watched. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, then it's worth watching, Fab. 1.0 is really good. I actually watched Evangelion in dub, but I was forced to watch it in sub for 1.0, and I still enjoyed it. Before then, I would refuse to watch sub. Like, fucking utterly refused. But I watched it, and it was alright. And then I ended up watching Season 2 of Spice and Wolf in sub, because it wasn't available in dub, and I was like, okay, that's okay. And then I saw it in bloody dub, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is up with this elevator? What the hell? That elevator does nothing. Fine, I'm going back. I don't want an ending. There's nothing there. I got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. This changed. Why did this change? Fly me to the moon.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean, he wondered. Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over looking for clues. That Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Well, this is different.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I'm guessing this is a different path now? Is it? Isn't it? I have no idea. I didn't know 888 was a thing, but okay. The white-haired guy? I honestly don't know people's obsession with it. I think they just like it because it makes Shinji gay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I was very scared he was about to say Mein Kampf, but anyway, because I was thinking of Oscar, and Oscar's German, and then Mein Kampf is also German. Wow, that's bad.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Wow, that was something. I didn't expect that to happen, but I'm glad it did, because I would have probably got the same ending as I did last time. Wait, was there a filing cabinet here originally? I'll be honest, once we do this and the 888, I'm going to be confused as to what I haven't done. Simply because I've
Stanley
lost
and the
track.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I'll just simply lose track. Is this how people fell down? Or did they like originally go up the chair here and just like...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this... But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
So I'm guessing I have to go right to
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
I've hit that weird part. I think I have to go right again and trigger something, but I've lost sense of it. And the balloons are fucking sitting on chairs now. Like, things are changing. Oh, no. I get to input something now. So it changes every time. See? I've got to fill all the inputs. So we've got this one. It's going to change location 3 more times.
Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Okay, I think I've got that one. The only endings that I know about now are the 888 and triggering that bucket sequence again where it's in the hallway earlier.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, it's going to be in a different location now. And possibly whatever the fudge this is, where the hell is it? It's supposed to have input. It's not here anymore. What the hell? I'm going to leave the bucket, because why not? Or do I take the bucket?
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No. No, surely not.
Yeah, I have to, like, input in the PC.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
It is the only way. Somewhere both red and blue. What the fuck? Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. We need more planks. Red, blue. Oh! Go to the right. Fireplace. Shh. Upstairs. Warehouse access plan. Produce 1 plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct a new structurally sound bridge. Right. There will be cleaning off this wall required. Who are you? 666 lol. Lies. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want them home. Oh, these are the clues. One was in the bathroom. One was in the darkness. A red room. We can do it. This was under the staircase. Good luck. Bathroom. Sounds like usual to ambience microphone zone is a directional mic. Picks up sound from a particular area. Analysis of the recording allowed me to triangulate the source of the strange noise. That also show that in all likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. I also patch up to be a rendezvous of a small particle. Right, so we gotta go to the place where we found that damn tape recording. Okay, this is where I'm gonna start asking people for help, because I'm clearly gonna be lost. So guys, please post routes on Discord. Stanley Parable thread, please. Just the way to get there. Not what it is. Okay, have we gone this way before? So it basically leads to this.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Wait, but wasn't the left side the hanging bucket? No, it's actually closed. Oh. But I'm not going to grab the bucket. I'm going to fall down the hole for the bucket. But it won't let me fall. Will it? Huh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him an...
I've reset it. Did I win?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Okay, that door's open. None of these monitors are giving me an extra input. So we need to input something else. They said...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, apparently the right has more options.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep. Just in case.
It was okay.
Is that it? Oh god, talk about a buzzkill. It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yo mama. No! I got in, bitch.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Did this always exist? Down here? Is there a vent? There is a vent. And that door's open.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Bloody forensic psychiatrist trying to convince me to be a parent. No. No buckets. Oh my god, we made it!
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Like, what is this room? Like, this looks like the type of room where you just lock someone in. Okay, so there's like 2 paths.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
What the fuck?
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
No. No. No.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
So is 1 good or is 1 bad? Or is 5 good or is 5 bad? I'll give you a 3.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
What? What the fuck? Did you know 21.3 players skipped the intro sequence? Only 3% of players chose the blue door. 98.9% players are more attractive than Stanley. And I'm on 7 hours, 37 minutes, and 7 seconds. You objectively ranked the low. See, you're technically wrong. We've been on live for 5 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds. So technically this game is not as clever as it thinks. Ha. Ha. This is your superior. A dead rat is objectively ranked better than you. 3 hours, 21 minutes. Wow.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Cheeky, you want to babysit?
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
There is an actual ending to this. No, I'm not doing it.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It literally says volunteer as a lookout. Who fire watches the fire watch? I mean, we had this as part of our, I worked in a company and we do telecommunications. And what they actually created was cameras that would identify smoke. And it would be able to pick up smoke in the air, send an alarm, and then a person would check the video feed to see whether or not it was smoke. If it was smoke, then they would zoom in to see whether or not there's a fire. And then they can have an early fire detection system that doesn't involve people, which could potentially save thousands of lives because you would get earlier detection. Because up until now in Australia, the only way they detect fires is basically having a volunteer like this sitting in like a tower for half a day paying attention. They didn't end up deploying this massive early detection fire system because the government grants that they would get from deploying such a system weren't enough. Because fuck people. Let them burn to death, right? Ooh, propane gas tanks. Wait a minute. Is this a zombie game? I would not be stepping on these pieces of wood as a fat person. I'd fall right through.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What? What's wrong? Camera would also check to see if there went by to check on the cameras, extensively watching the fire watches as well, like the watchmen and the clocks, or the security guards and time cards, and the doors you were required to walk through every hour or so. Huh? What's wrong? I don't know what he found wrong.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh. Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
They're just effing with me now. What the fuck
Wonderful.
is this?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Rocket League?
Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
I haven't actually
so what
played
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
So, like, I go into the blue or the red?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
What am I?
Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
What the fuck? What do you mean the balls have no physics? One ball should be able to move the other. Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Seriously, what am I, 2? Alright, let's see if I can understand the flags. Ew, Croatia. Is that the Philippines? Denmark? I don't know that one. Finland? Wales? France? Germany? I know that one after that is Greece. I think I see Iran up there. Italy? Japan? I see Russia and Serbia, depending which way you look at the flag. I think one of them's Chile, Korea. The other Serbian or Russian flag. I think that's the United States all the way on the right. Brazil's there? Oh, okay. One of them's gotta be Spain. Switzerland's the plus. I don't know what the X is, though. I see blue and yellow. Is that like Ukraine or something? And then there's like... what else is there? There's like... other stuff. Poland? Oh, okay. Canada? Is that China? There's Australia or New Zealand. Scotland is the X? Oh, really? Okay. And then there's like a half green, half white with like a red thing. My god, I do not know the flags. So is he like seriously gone? Am I stuck here? Can I get out of here? There must be like a hole or something I could jump into. Kuma, what's it with you and holes? I don't know. It's been a thing since I was a kid.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Death! Nani?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Suck my big fat... Nani? Okay, and now I'm in a shitty place. Where the fuck is this? What the shit? Well, that just happened. Hmm. Why is this door more heavily guarded than the others? What? This is DJ equipment.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
This ain't a fucking broom closet, it's a storage room. With a broom in it. And cleaning equipment.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Yes, corporate in a nutshell.